Okay, so we are at the end of our third chapter, and this topic is, we are talking about, in this lecture, we will talk about, or we will discuss about the theories of ethics. So there are two theories we are going to discuss. That is, one is deontological theory, and the second is teleological theory. I repeat, first theory we are going to discuss, that is deontological, ethics. It is related to the ethics. मतलब कौन से types के ethics रहते. When we can consider that your behavior is ethical, when it is, according to these two theories, the meaning of ethics, or the things which can be considered in ethics, maybe some little difference is there. Fine, but as I said, like ethics, they are universal. Fine, but these two theories, they have a different aspect or different perspective to look at the theory, ethics. So first is deontological ethics, and the second is teleological theory, or ethics, that is there. So what is mean by first, deontological ethics? What is mean by that? So these kind of ethics are related with or concerned with duty. Okay, this is your duty. That what we say, or we said, like, okay, as a teacher, it is your duty to teach. It is as a police, this is your duty. As a doctor, this is your duty. Duty means you ought to do that. You have to do that. No compromise on that. It is obligation. So one kind of obligation is there from the person, on that person who belongs to that particular category. Am I right? And according to this theory, what is ethical? What is ethical? Like, which you're, as I said, like, if you are in that profession, or you are as a human being, there are certain oughts, there are certain things like which is must for you. You ought to, you have to, right? So these things are very, very much mandatory, and we can consider them as a duty. No? As I said, like, okay, as a teacher, you have these are your duties and responsibilities. So responsibility is addition to duty, but duty means what, or duties means what? You ought to, you have to do that. That is mandatory, obligatory. You can't compromise on that. You can't say no to this. This is a very integral part of you as a business, or we can say that it is very integral part of you as a person, or it is very integral part, or expected things, like, okay, you have to, you ought to, you do, you need to. So now when we are thinking about business ethics, fine, so for business, certain things are which comes in the or which can be considered as their duty. They have to do this. They have to follow those rules. They need to contribute something for the betterment of society. They need to provide quality products. So this is very mandatory part of the business. They need to pay taxes to the government, as per whatever they earn, or whatever, on the basis of their gain, they need to pay some taxes. So this is what their duty is. Fine. So this particular approach, or this particular theory, consider like which are the duties which are given, which are assigned to you, or your business, or you to your profession, and they will, if you follow them, then your behavior, or your very much ethical. I repeat, if you as a person, you have certain things, like, okay, as an individual, I'm not talking about profession, I'm talking about, okay, Nandini, as a person, certain things are mandatory, obligatory to me. These are my duties as a citizen of India. I have certain duties. I can't say no to this, isn't it? So these duties, if I follow those duties, then my behavior is ethical. So if I want to judge, or when I'm using duty as a base to know or understand or evaluate your behavior, and whether it is which kind of theory we are using, that is deontological theory of ethics. So in short, deontological theory or ethics uses, or it is concerning the duty, and primarily with action. Only duties are there, or on paper it will not do. Like your action, it should reflect in your action that you are following all these duties. Whereas when we are talking about teleological ethics, see, very important, when we perform our duties, or when you are there or in any of the profession, or as a business, as an individual, there are certain, as I said, like, okay, there are certain situations in which I need to follow my duty. Fine. But those duties or your actions, in short, fine, your actions or whatever you have done or your deeds, uska consequences kya ho sakta hai? Acha bura. Acha bura. So teleological ethics are concerning the ends and primarily with the goals of action and their goodness and badness. Like if I kill somebody, I am not going to kill somebody, but just I'm giving you, something, one example. If I kill somebody as a person, as Nandini, as a person, if I kill somebody, so according to teleological ethics, the ends of my action is bad, right? So it is not ethical for me, or my actions or my behavior is not ethical. But now you can think like, okay, I'm giving you one additional clue, like Nandini ma'am is a police, and then or maybe I'm performing my duty, and to carry out my duty or to perform my duty, I may kill somebody. मुझे किसी को मारना पड़ा, and that the person who is killed by me is a terrorist. Now your answer will change. You will give me, you will think in a different way. Like, yes, ma'am, you are very ethical in your approach. You followed your duties. You have done your duties. You're getting my point. So if I asked, what is ethic? There are two types of, base, or there are two types of aspects can be considered by this. Let us go ahead. I'll give you some more examples of deontological theory, and then you will understand, and then we will move to the teleological theory. Fine. So according to deontological theory, it is written there, duty should be done for duty's sake, intrinsic moral value and universalization or universalize ability. So what is mean by that? See, I'll give you one example here. Now, it is obligatory, or it is an obligation to protect people, that is young, old, when they cross a busy road together. See, there are two pictures I'm showing you. So when you are, you are young, and then, or you are adult, and then some youngsters or some kids with you. So it is your duty to protect them. It is your duty to help them to cross the road. I'm talking about duty here. So when you are there on the road, maybe you are children, but then when senior citizens are there, fine, and you are helping them to cross the road. So it is your duty to help them to cross the road. So this is which kind of theory I'm using to decide their action, whether it is ethical or not. It is deontological, so deontological. So what is mean by that? Because why it is like we can say that yes, it is deontological theory. Why? Because I'm talking about duty. I'm talking about obligation. I'm talking about it is compulsory for you. So some compulsion is there. And as it is written there, okay, I'll give you one more example. See, very important, very interesting also. That is, falling in love is easy, but staying in love is very special. So your duty bond to keep your promise to be faithful to your spouse, even if a more attractive persons come along. So it is mandatory. It is mandatory. It is like, it is your duty, even though you may fall, if you may come across a very attractive person. But when you promise, when you are in relationship, what is ethical? Like, you need to follow your duty, and your behavior should be according to your duties. So you should follow it. Fine. But there is something again, some extension of our discussion, that is, after a breakup, a loyal one stays single and deals with the damage until healed. Okay, the other one is already in another relationship. Maybe it is because of that may be the cause of their breakup. Interesting one. Just go and think about it. Like, yes, when you are in relationship, it demands something from you. When you as a person, there are certain obligations on you, there are certain duties, there are certain expectations from you, and you need to follow it, right? So this is a base to decide whether you are ethical or your behavior is ethical or not, right? So according to this, according to this theory, that is deontological theory, this is what we will consider to analyze or to assess the person's behavior is ethical or not, the duties. Likewise, when we are talking about business ethics, fine, according to this theory, certain things are mandatory, certain things are obligatory, certain things are their duty. What is duty? Like, okay, we need to pay the full list, like, or we need to consider value for money. We need to satisfy each and every customer. It is our duty. Like, if customer is not happy, if they are asking you questions, then or some queries are raised by your customer, so it is obligatory for you to question or to solve all the problems which are raised by them. This is what what is expected. So because you are doing duty. And as I said, like, okay, if I kill somebody, it is not ethical. But as a police, if I kill, a terrorist, it is ethical. Because we are considering here the ethics. We are considering here duties to define ethics. So that is what it means, that deontological theory. Moving ahead, when we are thinking about teleological or consequentialism theory. See, consequentialism theory or teleological theory. Now, what is teleology or teleological consequential? It is referred to a result-oriented ethics. Here we are not talking about like what is your duty or what is not, but here we will consider results of your action. Purpose of your action. See, it is written there, it focuses on the purpose of each action and whether there is an intention or meaning for that action. What is the intention? बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि like, okay, we feel like my intentions are very good. When I want to help you, so my intentions are good, right? My intention was good, but what is the consequence of it? It deals with the consequences in an action. So your action and consequences, कर्म और उसके परिणाम, काम और उसका result, work and उसका result. So here we will consider more of what the consequences of your action. Your action may be right, your action may be dutiful, but then what is the consequences of your action? It involves examining the past experience in order to figure out the results of results of your present action. Like, teleological ethics is judging by the consequences and the rule for producing a great possible balance of good over evil. We are consequences, like, okay, your action has a reaction. We all believe in that. Like, your action will have some reaction. Karma, nishkam karma. Karma and result. Karma and then phal. So here, according to teleology or consequentialism theory, here we are talking about the phal. If your actions are good, of course, it should be good, then only that karma, that phal will come or result will come. So according to this, both the things are important, your actions as well as the consequences. Like, according to this particular theory, that is deontological theory, what is more important? Like, okay, whether you follow your duty or not. If you follow your duty, forget about the consequences. Forget about like whether somebody is happy with you, somebody is not happy with you. It's okay. It's okay. Karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. That kind of thing. Like, what is expected, you do it. Don't think about consequences, or don't think about the results, or don't think about, okay, fine. This is my duty according to mom, according to teacher, according to as a parent, as a teacher, as a mother, as a friend, as a this is what is expected from me as a professional. These are my duties. These are the These are primarily actions which are expected, which is I can't compromise. You can't compromise on. आप उस पे compromise कर ही नहीं सकते. These are your basic karma which is expected from you. And then don't think about result. That is which theory we are talking about. That is deontological theory. Because see, in business, in business scenario, what is ethical? What is your duty? Like provide this to your customers, provide this to your employees, provide these things to your all the stakeholders. If you are doing it, you are ethical. If you're not doing it, you are not ethical. That's all. This is one approach. Fine. But moving ahead, okay, fine, you are doing you are doing your duties and other things, but what about the consequences? उसके परिणाम क्या है? आपकी ड्यूटी के परिणाम क्या है? Like if I said like, okay, my intentions are good, but because of my words, if somebody hurts, somebody feel or somebody get hurts, तो consequences क्या होंगे? बुरे होंगे. It is like, okay, it is bad. I want to help somebody, but I'm not able to. So though your actions and intentions are good, fine, the consequences of your action is not good. So you are not ethical. This is what another theory of ethics. So this is what we are talking about. See, according to teleology, like both the approaches or both the things are equally important. That okay, your action and the consequences, karma and phal, action and reaction, action and result. So sometimes your actions are good, your intentions are good, and as it is written there, like okay, as per your past experience, in order to figure out the results of the present action. We follow it. Like, okay, my past experience was like, if I said something to somebody, that person may feel like, okay, great. If I say something to somebody, that person may be pleased. Khush ho gaya. So that is what my past experience. And I follow the same thing, similar thing. Because my intentions are good. I want to praise. I want to say like, oh, you are doing fantastic. So I use this word. But maybe the consequences is not suitable for that particular situation, or because of that, that person may get hurt. Agar wo person XYZ, like if I'm giving this, I'm talking with that person, and if in a similar way, according to my experience, according to my past experience, and my intentions are good. But even though, because of, as I said, like the situation or the circumstances or that person himself, because I'm dealing with the different people altogether. So when I'm dealing with X, that particular theory works. That particular, whatever I said, my words are well appreciated by that person. That is X. But a similar kind of words, when I'm using with Mr. Y or Miss Y, he may hurt. Because of the environment, because of the situation, because of the personal characteristics of Mr. or Miss Y. And if that person is hurt, so according to teleology theory or teleological or consequentialism theory, my behavior is unethical because it get hurt. That person may hurt. Usko बुरा लगा. फिर हम लोग समझाते उसको, नहीं मेरा इंटेंशन तो बहुत अच्छा था. I want to please you. I want to say like, okay, you are doing your karma, your actions are wonderful. You are doing great in your life. I want to say like this. But see, this is very important, that judging by the consequences and the rule of producing a great possible balance of good over evil, good over bad. So you need to balance it. So this is what a teleological or a consequentialism theory. So these two theories are clear to you? Yes, no? Any questions? Any questions? Should I move ahead? Aage jaye? Yes? Rakshanda Kamble, are you there with me? Okay, Omkar, are you there? Omkar Joshi, am I audible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Omkar. So Omkar, both the
Ma'am, this is
theories.
Mihal here.
Ji?
Ma'am, this is Mihal here.
Okay, Mehal. So is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, both the theories are clear. Okay, can we move ahead? आगे जाए?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, dear. Okay, so as I said, like the last part of your third chapter, that is Kohlberg 6-stage morale development. If somebody wants to develop its morale, somebody's morale, or you forget about somebody, like your own morale or your own, your behavior and your personality, and then we all believe like, okay, like it is like after, with the age and with the experiences, like we become more mature, and then our personality develop, and our moral and ethical value system is being developed dheere dheere. It's not like, okay, one night and then you are, if I feel like, okay, Mehul, you can change your belief system, or okay, fine, with Nandini ma'am you are interacting with for 4-5 days, and then your value system, your ethical system, your moral system, now you are changed. Yesterday was different and now you are different. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. And it will not happen. So what is expected according to then how moral is developed, or how individuals belief system or value system develop. So according to the Kohlberg, how you pronounce it, it's up to you. He extended the Pidgeot's theory, and he proposed that moral development is a continuous process. It is a continuous process that occurs throughout a lifespan. It's not like one time event. Like you all know that whenever we listen to somebody, maybe a guru, or maybe your favorite teacher, or maybe your friend, or maybe a gyan given by your parents, or a discussion, and after that for sometimes you are under that trauma, you feel like, yes, she's right, he's right, so she told me like this, I need to behave like this, yes, I must be morally, ethically very, very strong. And then you know that effect, as I said, like, okay, it is for some time, and after that you will come to your normal position. This is again a human behavior. But something happened in your life which brings a permanent change in your behavior. Because of those experiences you learn, and because of those learnings, your value system, your belief system, you are questioning to your own belief system. आप जो पहले सोच रहे थे, आपकी जो पहले की सोच थी, आपका जो मोरल था, या आपका whatever you're inside you. So you always a question, there is always a question mark, and you ask question to yourself like, Nandini, are you right? Are you doing the right thing? Are you thinking in a right way or in a right direction? So why this thought process, why there is a question mark on your thought process? Because of your experiences, because आप अपने life से कुछ सीखते हैं. That is your learning, and from those experience and those learnings, you develop your moral, develop your internal psychology, or your internal construct of your personality is changing. And morale is one part, very important part, or a construct, or an aspect of your your mental health, your psychological growth, and other thing. And you will get such kind of experience throughout your life, because you are learning throughout your life. Can we say that, okay, now I have done, everything is done, now I learn everything? I'm not talking about learning and education. I'm not talking about education here. I'm not talking about formal education here. That is not the only way to learn or to get experience. But from life, from the people, those who are there in your life or in your environment, you are learning, you are continuously interacting and communicating with your environment, with the people in your environment. And because of that, you are dealing with them, or you are creating good relations with them. So when you are creating relationship, when you are dealing, when you are you are doing transactions, you are doing a lot of things, like, okay, in a way, like, okay, we are communicating, we are in a contact with our environment. And what is the result of that? Of course, experience. हम लोग बोलते that was my bad experience, that was great experience, I learn a lot from that experience. Oh, I learn ना, वो सबसे बड़ा सीख मिला मुझे लाइफ में. And because of that, you are, your inner you is developing, your inner morale is developing. And that's why it is written there that it is, according to the Kohlberg and his Fidget theory, like you learn throughout your life, throughout your life scan. So he used Fidget storytelling techniques to tell people stories involving moral dilemmas. Like there are moral dilemmas, like sahi hai ki galat hai. And that's why I said, like, you are asking, there is always a question mark on your thought process, whether you are right or whether or wrong. What is right and what is wrong? Because situation changes, because your life situation changes, and then whatever you learn previously, whatever your experience in the past, or I can say, like, okay, what was your learning, or what is your learning in the past, it may not be the same, it may not be applicable to this new situation, because the dimensions of that particular situation is changing so fast, maybe different. And since it is different, every situation is different, fine, you need to evolve, you need to think something in a better way, and then you need to think about something new, something better, and then you need to solve the problems in your life. Same formula, no perfect formula, no perfect solution to deal with any kind of situation. Every situation is new, challenging, and then you need to deal with it in a different perspective or in a different way. And continuously you are learning throughout your lifespan. So this is what Goldberg's 6-stage moral development. So according to him, fine, he said he conducted how that this particular theory is evolved or created and developed, as it is it is there. Like he used to tell stories. He used to tell stories to the research group, and then about the story or moral dilemma and other thing. And then he conducted interviews, and he has conducted the research on group of young children. Again, if you are there, and then I can tell you a story, a nice story, like, okay, this happened and this happened and this happened, and now you are a doctor, and you need to treat that girl or a woman, then you know that, or maybe a old patient who is looking for he is like, he's suffering or she's suffering from some illness, and now no further treatment for that illness, and then she want to die because it is unbearable, it is not uh, she can't or he can't survive in this situation or want to stay in this situation. And then she is her application, she applied to a judge, like, okay, that is, she want to die, so please approve, that kind of thing. So such kind of stories he created, and he conducted a research. This is a very different kind of situation. If you say yes, she can go for it, and she can go especially in medical terms and other things. So there are such ethical dilemmas are there. We need to take decision. What is dilemma? Like, okay, there are two decisions, and then you are confused between these two, and then you need to choose only one. So such kind of questions or such kind of theories he is to tell to the young children, and then after that he is taking interview of those kids or those children. Like if I said, like, yes, she can allow, like judge or the court must allow that lady or to die because it is her pains are unbearable. Then the next question may come, like, okay, he may ask you, like, why you are thinking, and then whether it is ethical, like, or can we for that girl. So such kind of dilemmas or such kind of theories can be generated, and he is asking interviews. A series of, like, what is written there, that it is a series of moral dilemmas were presented in these participants, and they are also interviewed to determine the reasoning behind that, behind their judgments of each scenario. If I say yes, then I need to give reasoning, like why I'm saying yes to that particular situation, why I'm thinking like this, what is my thought process behind that. And if I say no, then I need to give clarification, or I need to think about, or I need to explain the reasons behind that, why I'm not for that particular decision or the judgment which is given by you. And then he used to give different scenarios, or can be discussed, or with the children's or kids. So this is what he's talking about. Fine. So after that, fine, after doing this, then he said 3 levels of moral reasoning. So you need to give 3 levels of moral reasoning. One is pre-conventional morality, the second is conventional morality, and the third is post-conventional morality. Now, what is mean by that? So one by one we can discuss here. So pre-conventional, that is stage one, that obedience and punishment. Now, what is, like, see how people, or how, as an individual, we are developing, or our moral is developing. So this is what 3 stages. And each stage has two sub stages. That when we are talking about pre-conventional stage, so stage one is obedience and punishment, and stage two is individualism and exchange. Conventional, that is interpersonal relationship and maintaining social orders, and post-conventional stage, that is social contacts and individual rights and universal principle. Now, what is mean by that? That one by one we can discuss. Fine. And how we develop. So age 4 to 10, I'll come back, and then we can discuss this this image also. But let us move ahead and then come back. Fine. So what is pre-conventional morality? It happens between the age, and he consider it happens, or it is like the age group of 4 to 10. 4 to 10. Now, if how in this age, you just imagine a kid who belongs to, or who's who's in that lifespan, that is he or she is in this particular stage, starts at 4 and ends at 10. So he is motivated by obedience and obedience to authority. So you just imagine that when you are there in that particular age, or if you can see some kids around you, or maybe your own kids, you can understand like how people, or how individuals, or the kids or the children, they are motivated by obedience to authority. So it is their learning, like to all authoritative figures around him. That figure may be parents, or maybe his or her siblings, or maybe teachers, or maybe uncle, aunt, or something. So who has that authority to influence, or who has that authority to give directions to your behavior? So you need to say yes. Obedience. Be obedient. So obedience is one thing which motivates people, or which, this is our learning, like we need to follow our elders. We need to follow our, like, who has that authority. Then commonly associated with young children involve little thoughts about morality. Kuch pata nahi hai, very, very little, and or they don't know anything. They have, at this stage, we only know, like, okay, we need to respect, or we need to be obedient to our parents, or those who are having authority. Now, how your moral codes is shaped? So it is shaped by the standards of adults. तो जो आपको आपके adults, जो आपकी authority जिनके पास है, और जो those who are having that power to influence your thought process, fine, they are showing you, or they are showing, they feel like, okay, this is what is expected, this is what ethical, or this is not unethical, this is unethical. So they set the standards. The standards are set by the adults, and the consequences of following or breaking their rules. The standards are set by the adults, and in your future, like on in maybe and the consequences of following or breaking their rules. Agar aap us consequences kya hai? These people, they'll give you directions. These people or authority or the your adults, they'll set the standard, and kids or youngsters or maybe young children, they need to follow them. Not youngster, but yes, we can call them as a young children. And it depends the consequences of their action. If they're obedient, they will be rewarded, and if they are not obedient, then they'll be punished. So consequences of their action or consequences of their behavior is depend upon whether they follow the rules, standards which are set by the adults. That is pre-conventional morality. So that is your own moral system or your own belief system. Nothing is there, or very, very, as it is written there, very little thought about morality. So at this stage, we all believe like, okay, no, I need to follow what my adult says. And they make sure like, yes, you will listen to them, or they'll follow, you need to follow their authority. They are very authoritative. Moving ahead, like as I said, obedience and punishment. This is the earliest stage of moral development, common in young children. Children see rules as fixed and absolute. तो मतलब कह दिया ना कह दिया, बस, that kind of situation. Obeying the rule is important to avoid punishment, and morality is motivated solely by punishment. So why kids or why young children they follow? Because these people, they solely guided, directed by the punishment. This is the first stage. This is the first stage of your moral development, pre-conventional morality. This is again a psychology, and how ethical behavior or how ethics or how your belief system or your value system is developed. So pre-conventional kuch pata nahi hai, very little, very vague idea about what is right, what is wrong. So nothing is there. You don't, because you don't have any experience of life. So you are young kids or young children, they are learning from the experiences of others. And from my life experience, I'll set some standards, and then if you follow them, it's good. If you follow them, you're obedient, then it's good. Otherwise, the consequences are you will get punishment. You will be punished by your elders. And that punishment will motivate you to be ethical or to follow the morals or the standards set by your parents or maybe your adults around you. Moving ahead, stage 2, individualism and exchange. In this stage, sorry, children accounts individual point of view, judge actions based on how they serve individual needs. Reciprocity is possible, but only if it serves one's own interest. Now just imagine that the same kid is going out. He's interacting with you, he's interacting with his siblings, he's interacting with his friends, maybe a society friend or a school friend or something, or maybe some relatives' kids or something. So now his horizon or his experience is more wide than as compared to earlier. So when that that individual or that kid is going out, getting more experiences and learnings, so he will develop what his own thought process or point of view, and they argue. They'll ask you questions like why it is so, why it is right, and why it is wrong. And they judge their actions not only not you are only you are saying and that's why it is right. They'll judge the actions based on how they serve individuals' needs, how they serve individual needs. Like whether all these actions are good for me, whether it serves my needs or my requirement. So they will reciprocate if possible. Reciprocate is possible. But only when it comes to own interest. So slowly he or she is thinking about herself or himself. I'm thinking about me. And then I'm thinking about I'm developing my own point of view. So this is the stage number 2, where individualism and exchange. I'll give this much to you. Okay, fine. Just observe kids when they are playing. They said, okay, if see there is a Lego and these two kids are playing. So they will exchange something. Okay, I'll give you red, but in return, you need to give me black. So exchange. And that kid will not give you or give another person a red Lego or a piece of Lego when he is not getting black one. Or he may not give red and then he will get only black. So individualism, maybe kuch hu, I am something. I have my own thought process. According to me, this is right. According to me, this is wrong. So individualistic, moral system is slowly developing. Earlier, nothing was there. At this stage, yes. And they believe on exchange. So something more on this particular stage, that is children recognize that there is not just one right view and that different individuals have different viewpoint. Interesting. Yes, of course. Like they need to discuss this, and they slowly understand, okay, fine. I believe like, okay, on exchange, I believe this is my belief system. Similarly, my friends, my siblings, my brothers, sisters, or my parents, they have their own individual system, or they have their own individual thought process. But I have my own thought process. But maybe your perspective is different. And my behavior or the goal is to avoid punishment. मैं punishment नहीं चाहता, इसीलिए at this age people or the kids they start giving explanations for their actions. They start giving they are not complaining, or they give a different kind of a very weird explanation about their behavior, like why I behave like this. They create stories, they explain stories, they narrate stories about the things. Why? Because they want to safeguard themselves. वो अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहते हैं. So they create stories. ऐसा हुआ ना, उसने वैसा किया ना, so I done this, so they have done this. So they are giving justification for their action. Why are they doing that? Because to avoid punishment. This is the second stage. Okay, moving ahead, that is what is conventional morality. That is previous stage, pre-conventional. This is conventional. Now what is conventional? That people focus on following social norms and customs. Slowly they understood, like, fine, I have my own social system, I have my own thought process, or my individual system is there, or my individual thought process is there. But yes, when I'm there with others, and then if I want to stay in the society, or there are certain social norms and customs we need to follow. धीरे धीरे ये बात पता चलती है. So begins to internalize the moral standards of valued adult role models, and reasoning is based on the norms of the groups to which a person belongs. So slowly, you as a kid, you as a person, individual kid or individual person, adolescent stage of your life, you are starting searching for the role model, adult role model. Because you believe, or they start believing, like, okay, I have some system, but yes, I need to follow certain social norms. I want to establish, I want to convince, but yes, there are certain social norms and customs. And they'll search for role model. Yes, and reasoning is, as I said, like, okay, they will create stories, they'll give reasoning. It is based on the norms, certain norms of the group to which the person belongs. जिस ग्रुप को वो बिलोंग करते हैं उस ग्रुप के नॉर्म्स को वो फॉलो करना शुरू कर देते हैं. Why? Because they accept, नहीं बाबा, if I want to stay in society, I need to deal with. So, pre-conventional के next stage में, these people, they are trying to establish this themselves, and that's why we said like individualism. अपनी एक thought process उनकी बनती है. But in a later stage or in a second stage, these people, they accept like, no, this is my value system. This is what I believe in. This is my thought process. But if I want to stay with the society, I need to follow certain norms. Like, you just understand, like, okay, the person who is very rigid, and the kid or the young kid, like, they always opposed to the people, or they will not say, or they believe on exchange and other thing. Afterward, in the age group, it is there that 10 to 13, that this conventional stage where these people, they used to adjust with people, adjust with the friends, adjust with the surroundings and environment. They learn this adjustment kind of a thing, because they said, no, if I want to be there, if slowly they started, slowly these people, they started understanding the things which are there. And these people, they feel like, if I want to be, if I want a social acceptance, I need to follow the norms. Acceptance by group. बहुत बार बोलते हैं कि मम्मी ये बच्चे, मतलब वो जो है group, these people, they are not allowing me to play with them. Then mommy must have console him or her, or discuss with him or her, like, okay, aisa hota hai, and then you need to follow, and then you need to be like this and that, and then certain modifications of their behavior, and he is trying to adjust with the social norms. This is a second stage. Now we are moving to the next or third stage, that is interpersonal relationship. They do believe like, okay, they are very possessive about their friends, they are very possessive about their parents, they are very possessive about their classmates. We all are like that. We all were like that. So also known as a good boy or a good girl orientation. So slowly, that particular concept is there. Like, if I want to be with them, or if I want to be one of them, I need to behave like a good boy or a good girl. So that orientation comes in with the people. As it is written there, focused on living up to social expectations and rule, and emphasis on conformity, being nice. Consider how choices influence the relationship. An interpersonal relationship. Now, what is interpersonal relationship? People, in a later stage or in an earlier stage or the second stage, people, they understood the value of relationship. In this stage, people or the individuals, they already understood the value of relationship. Here they are establishing good interpersonal relationships. Slowly these people, they are talking about, they are thinking about, no, I must be nice, I must be good, and then I'll get this. So that kind of stage. This is a third stage. Fine. Now, interpersonal relationship, emphasis on the maintenance of happy interpersonal relationship and pleasing others. So in a previous stage, like, okay, we understand, okay, relations are there, social norms are there, but at stage, people, they understood, like, we need to please people, and then they can say, yes, they say, oh, you are a nice boy, you are a nice girl. So we need to make them happy. And a need of avoid rejection, disaffection, or disapproval from others. We feel bad. We feel bad. We feel like, okay, if I'm not doing this, or my behavior is not like that, so people, they will disagree with me, and they will reject me. हम लोग बोलेंगे, यार मैं ऐसा क्यों किया? अगर आप पूछते हो for some reasoning, like reason for their action, they said like, everybody is doing that, and if I am not doing, they will not allow me, or they will not take me in their group or include me in their group. They said no. Peer pressure kind of a thing. Avoid rejection, dissatisfaction, and disapproval from others. So there is a kind of fear in our mind, like, okay, people, they will reject me or him or her. And to to avoid certain kind or this kind of situation, people start pleasing others. Yes, you are nice. Yes, you are right. Why this is happening? Because we feel like, okay, otherwise, if we say, if I have an individual thought process which is not accepted by the society or not acceptable for this by the society or to the society, sorry. So in that case, people, they'll reject me. They will not accept me. So this is a stage 3, that is where you are thinking about interpersonal relationship. Moving ahead, yes, maintaining social orders. Consider society as a whole when making judgments. Focus in on maintaining law and order by following the rules and doing one's duty and respecting authority. Now, stage 3, some kind of fear. Stage 4, yes. It is like more, we are thinking about laws, rules, regulations, what is mandatory, what is necessary, what is required, what is for, or what is which is required for the well-being of the society, or maintaining the law and order by following the rules, duties and authority. Moving ahead, stage 5 क्या बोल रहा है? Stage 4, again, please individuals to maintain social orders by following social norms, customs, and laws, becoming aware of the wider rules of society to avoid guilt. Some kind of guilt is there. Like if I don't follow social norms, then no, automatically that guilt will come. And I always feel, or at this stage, or people or the individuals, they always feel that I should not be criticized by a true authority figure. They are not ready to accept this because it is a developing stage. This is a 4th stage. They are not yet developed. Their moral system is not yet developed. So they feel, they feel awkward when their authority or their, somebody who is there in their environment, and if they criticize them, so it is not acceptable to them. Fine. Then post-conventional morality, that this is a 3rd stage, adolescence or adulthood. Kya hota hai ye? People look beyond convention to determine the moral norms and appreciate the social interaction. Judgment is based on self-chosen principles, and moral reasoning is based on individual rights and justice. Self-chosen principle, like this is okay, fine, you are giving me this, and then the society believes on this, but yes, no, this is what I believe, and I choose to be like that. Adulthood or adolescence, I cross it. And that's why when you are in adult age or adulthood, like by that time your thought process is complete. Post-conventional morality. And then moral reasoning is based on individual rights and justice. मेरा खुद का अधिकार क्या है, and what is right according to the law, rules, regulations, and justice. This is what is expected. Post-conventional morality. And in that stage 5, that is social contact, and individuals begin to account the differing values, opinions, and beliefs of others. Nahi, I don't think so. I differ in my thought process. Law are important, but members of the society should be agree upon these standards. So I'll set my own standards, and I'll believe on my own thought process. And then I may be different value system and everything. So social contacts and individual rights, as it is written, that work against the rules if it is not good, and if you feel like, okay, this is not good, or if you are aware about the time when they will work against the rule or the interest of a particular individual. So bagawat, that kind of situation. Because I want to maintain, I want to see that, okay, social contract is there, and I want to maintain the social rights or individual rights. The last one, that is 6th one, that is universal principle, that is reasoning is based on universal ethics principle and abstract reasoning. So we follow, now we reach to this particular stage of our age, like where we are internalized principles of justice, even if it is against the law. कायदा क्या बोलता है, लॉ का बोलता है, सोशल लॉज क्या बोल रहा है, it is okay, fine, but this is what I feel. So moral judgment is motivated by one's own conscious. You are using your conscious to think about what is right and what is wrong. That is universal principle. That is a last stage of this. Like, see, this picture is self-explanatory. I'll take only 1 minute. So people have developed their own set of moral, guidelines, which may or may not fit the law. And then we start searching for universal principles. Like society ye bol raha hai, okay, law ye bol raha hai, okay, your parents, your elders, your authorities, they are saying like this. But then according to me, according to my experience, according to my learning, according to my conscious, this is wrong. So that kind of stage, we are reaching slowly to that particular stage. Fine. So coming back to that first image, what we discussed, we need to go back and see this is what 3 stages, and this is what a 6 stage moral development. So slowly people, they are thinking there are 3 stages, that is pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. So at each and every stage, what we discuss, obedience and punishment, individualism and exchange. At stage 2 is individualism and exchange. Obedience and punishment is stage 1. Stage 3 is interpersonal and relationships. Stage 4, maintenance, social orders. Stage 5 is social contract and individual rights, but stage 6 is universal principle. So this is what 6 stages of moral development. So last thought process or last slide, that is wealth without work, 7 dangers of human virtues. Wealth without work, pleasure without conscious, knowledge without character, business without ethics, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, and politics without principle. Now you just imagine that at which stage we are, or these are 7 dangers to human virtues. This situation is really very dangerous for human virtues. So if we are accumulating wealth without work, kuch kaam kiye bina, wealth is coming to us, pleasure without conscious. There should be some control of your conscious, like what is right, what is good, or what is what will give you anand, or knowledge without character. If you have everything and if you are losing character, business without ethics, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, and politics without principle. I'm leaving it to you, like, okay, whether these 6, whatever 7 dangers, or what we have discussed, 7 things here which are dangerous to human virtues, whether it is right, whether it is wrong, what is your opinion? Because you already reached the 7th stage, that is you are searching for universal principles. You have your own thought process, you have your own ethical behavior, your conscious is guiding you, and which gives you direction, like how to behave in the society. So thank you so much. It is the end of our discussion on the 3rd chapter. From tomorrow we can discuss, and we will go about 4th chapter. Thank you so much. Your next class must be scheduled, so without asking or without taking your permission, may I leave? Yes, may I leave?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye. See you.